right. Welcome. Happy 2024. I have to keep saying that because it opens us up to perceive that we are in a new state of consciousness of our powerful choosing, right? That we're not continuing to carry over patterns from 2023. And if we are, it would definitely be of our own choosing. Oh, happy Friday. Are some of you taking a long weekend? I hope so. Hi, Elisa. Thanks for watching. Glad to have you here. As usual, please hold all of your questions. We will be calling in my favorite spirit guide team, the Galactic Council of Nine, with whom I've been working since age 5. They are beautiful, wonderful beings. And on this council, there are many beings that you could be familiar with and some that you would not be. But they represent the Christ consciousness in this world. And I'm always happy to bring them to you and to bring you their channeled information. We did our 2024 world predictions just a couple days ago. So today we're back to do just January 2024 and talk about the cosmic energy theme and the cosmic energy updates for January and the visions that I received and the predictions that I interpreted them to being for various areas of the world, not just the US. And we'll talk about some of those visions that I got for January. All of that comes through the council. They give me all those visions. And then I'll open up the floor for you to ask your questions to this Galactic Council about, your areas of the world or areas of the world you're curious about or the world collectively. But again, please hold that until the very end once we get all these things out of the way. Oh, Lisa's coming from Italy. I have a friend there. What time is it in Italy right now? It must be getting pretty late into the night. Yeah, of course, you're welcome to send over those questions. Just let me get these things out of the way. Oh, it's only 8? Super, I'm glad I don't have you guys too tired out in Italy just yet. I have always wanted to visit, but I have a very busy family and it's not gonna happen soon. We don't travel well. So, who's here with me today? Hi, Jenny. Jesse, what part of Michigan? Lebanon, super. Super Romania. Thelma, where are you from? The UK? Yeah, the UK. I have some things to share with you this month. It's big stuff for the UK and Canada for January. Yeah. Chicago. New Zealand. Yeah. New York. 8 p.m. in Hungary as well. Bosnia. Switzerland. Jess is from Albuquerque. Jesse, did you tell me what part of Michigan you're from? Let's see. From the UK, Canada, Northeast Georgia, Woodbury, Michigan. Where is that? Like what is that close to insofar as major cities? California coast. All right. Toronto, Pittsburgh, Grand Blanc. Where is that? I just moved here, so all the places people are saying, I'm like, I don't know where it is if it's not like Grand Rapids or Traverse or South Haven. Vancouver Island, Detroit, yep. A lot of my daughter's skating competitions for this year are out in those areas. Ferndale, yeah. I know where that is about. New Hampshire, Australia. Trudy, what part of Australia? Mississippi Gulf Coast. You might want to pay attention because Kentucky and Mississippi might want to pay attention. I've got some things to say for you for this month, so hang in there with me. Hualapai, yep. Arizona, okay. Halifax. Oh, that's cool. Vancouver Island. Hello. Yeah, I love to see the interesting span of European followers. That's been really cool to watch in 2023 for me. The growth in international following. Ireland, yes. Florida, what part? Spokane, yeah. Western Australia, Ohio, Clovis, California, Costa del Mar. Wonderful. You must be living it up over there. I never have any bad predictions about Costa del Mar. Okanagan Valley. I don't know where that is either, but I bet it's beautiful. British Columbia is very beautiful. Kellogg, Idaho. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm starting to attract more UK, Canada, Western Australia followers than United States followers. So that's been very interesting to me. But that's my way. I'm a little bit more gravitated in my soul towards Europe than anywhere else. It just is what it is. North Carolina. Did you know I was born in South Carolina? That's cool. Okay, so I have a lot to say. Costa del Sol, okay. All right. So let's talk about the cosmic energy theme. When we were picking out the thumbnail for this YouTube, um, it was really, really interesting because it was this sun that was hanging as if hanging by a Christmas tree ornament or something and dangling there. And I thought, yeah, those were the two visions that I got. I got two visions about the cosmic energy theme for this month. And the words from the council for the theme are peace hangs in a delicate balance. And I also got, I was having my breakfast this morning and I asked for a little bit further elaboration about the theme this morning. And I looked down at my placemat, you know, and there's little black beads that go around it. And I've got this energy of the abacus and the vision of the abacus and people pulling the little beads to each side of the abacus. And it's like source is yanking those beads away from them, like pulling the beads away from us and trying to balance it out so that all of the beads on the abacus would land and distribute evenly in a balanced way. And then we were yanking it back as if we preferred our chaos, as if we preferred having our own beads in our own corner of the abacus. So it was like people on this side of the abacus, people on this side of the abacus, yanking back the balance and preferring chaos over the balance. And the council said, well, you've been collectively, all of you praying for peace, praying for harmony, praying for unity for thousands of years. And we attempt to take away that which brings chaos to you so that we could have balance evenly distributed, have wealth evenly distributed, have availability of Christ consciousness evenly distributed. That's always there. We are that. To have money evenly distributed, to have work and family life evenly distributed. But we keep trying to, it was like I got this image of us pulling the beads back, going, no, 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 mine, mine, mine. And then I got the image of the Gollum in Lord of the Rings. And he was like, my precious, hanging on to the ring when the whole world is fighting over the ring, wanting the power, right? So in politics, it was sort of the theme of one ring to rule them all. Everybody's wanting that ring. Everybody's fighting over something that represents money and power. And that's nothing unusual when I read Earth. Quite frankly, I've been doing these readings for 24 years and counting now with world prediction, and that's a common one. But it isn't us typically that's the Gollum in the vision, but it was this time. It was the majority of, middle class America and upper middle class America. Sorry, Americans, that's just where it landed. That we are still holding on to power, and not just power, but holding on to money, holding on to everything as if we're not going to have it the very next day, as if we can't bring about a giving and receiving, as if we can't donate our time. We're holding on to time as a commodity, not just money as a commodity. Like the beads in the vision represented money as a commodity, not understanding the give take cycle and holding on to money as if we're not going to have it, holding on to time as a commodity, putting our boundaries very strongly to people around us while simultaneously wanting love. That was another part of these visions. Was one of the beads represented money, which was a black bead. Another bead represented time, and that was a golden yellow sun, a golden yellow bead. And then there was a pinkish bead that represented our heart and our emotions and giving of our heart from our true divine nature, almost as if that was too precious of a commodity that we were the golem in the cave with each of those three instances of greed, holding on to our heart and our emotions, not giving our love, not giving of our funds, and not giving of our time. So we were like, just like, in this state of, I want peace and I want to do so many things this year, but I'm still just hanging on to everything, right? So that peace hangs in a very delicate balance. It's just like, and the universe is taking all those beats from us. That was the other part of the vision. Was I got the image of God, and it was like, and I can never describe my image of God. It's not explicable to anyone but me, and not barely even then. So it was like the hand of God coming down and pulling all those things from us and distributing it evenly to the world. And the US in particular do not want that, particularly like it's election year and it's a weird thing, and we could be making some challenging changes, but we continue to vote in a broken system. What would happen if we just really voted for who we wanted, or if no one was there that we wanted, if we didn't vote at all? That was just a question. No one's trying to sway you. But what would happen in this broken system as it continues to fall apart if we only voted for who we truly wanted to, or if we did not have an appropriate candidate this year, if we did not vote at all? What would happen? They encourage you just to wonder collectively. For anyone who sees this channel, go into a state of curiosity and wonder about what would happen. This is what would happen? What would they do? Would they just appoint someone? We didn't vote it, so that's not democratic. What would happen in the US for your elections this year, right? So the energy here is, try not to keep choosing personal and collective chaos, and try not to keep choosing the same options, whether it be political voting system options, medicine options, and health options, whether it be like, if you did something last year and it didn't work, if you did something 4 years ago in voting and it didn't work, why would it work this year? Oh, love that. Gracie said, I'm a vote for God. Whew. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah. If we send a love to each other, we won't give a darn about the US. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we do, though. We do. And we're so used to wanting those systems to work for us as opposed to creating new systems that work for us and all. And this is the beginning of the year where we get an opportunity to not participate in broken systems, which is the beginning of creating a new system, is just saying, you know what? That isn't working. So if you give me a candidate this year that isn't working for me, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm not going to participate. If you do, I will, but you didn't, right? Therefore, what would happen? Well, let's just see, right? Some people are too addicted and attached to the political systems to agree with the council in this regard. And they would say that would be an irresponsible opinion, but that it's only if you're attached to those broken systems and you think that you still need it. So their advice to you for January is to try not to keep choosing personal and collective chaos as a means of defense mechanisms. That's the other thing. If we become too dependent on last year's coping mechanisms, not just in our larger political schemes, but also in our defense mechanisms. I saw another vision of us holding up like clouds around. The walls were clouds. They weren't thick prison walls in my visions, but just clouds, storm clouds. And like our defense mechanisms can be broken through. Clouds break anyway. They're not excellent coping mechanisms. So why are we putting a fog around us and calling that an emotional shield? Reconsider what boundaries mean to you this year. Energy walls block us from opening to the dharma, the magical potential for purpose and happiness unique to us and collective. But we can't access that if we have if we're carrying over last year's energy walls and the clouds from last year need a chance to break and we're holding those. I got this image of a baby crying and putting a big shield of clouds around it and then saying, well, why can't I see anything? It's like moving its hands through the clouds, going, crying, going, where? Why do I not feel love? Why doesn't God love me? Why don't people love me? Why do I feel like I not belong? You got all these clouds around you. And this baby was moving its hands and crying and looking for its mom and looking for love, but it couldn't see through its own clouds. Yet it was the one holding those clouds so close because it was so afraid of also receiving love and of, what it would feel like to be loved. Right. So collectively, our soul contracts are pushing us towards change, but we're still hanging on to defense mechanisms as if we won't survive without them. We're trying to direct spirit. I got this image from the council just yesterday of us herding spirit around. This image of great spirit, powerful great spirit. And then this sheepdog, that was us, kind of nipping at its heels, going, go over here, do this for me. Yip, 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 yip. Right? We can't herd God around. And also, it was like when this shepherd came out, the untrained sheepdog was nipping at the heels of the shepherd and telling it how and what to do. So we're also, that was a metaphor for directing those we love, directing our family, directing our coworkers, barking and yipping at people still, as if this is the ego's play. Let the soul become the director of your life this year, and you will be thrilled with the peaceful outcome that arises. Okay. Let's go into more visions. I got a powerful vision of a dam just bursting through and water everywhere. And I thought this was metaphorical. And then I woke up with water all over London. In the middle of the night, I had this vision. And then I woke up and there was water everywhere, flooding everywhere in London and in various places in the UK. And it's still happening as we speak. So let's collectively right now take a moment of silence to send our prayers to London and many various places in the UK, because this isn't the only time that the vision showed for today. It's like I got this vision 3 more times for various stages of the last week of January, around the 23rd to the 24th of January. You're going to have a similar problem. It has not, the water hasn't stopped. Right. So take a moment for the UK right now, if you can. All right. Thanks for doing that with me. Sometimes I think it's helpful in the midst of channeling to just stop and take a moment of silence and to be more comfortable with silence when we're here together. Do you feel how palpable that can be? Also, when we become more comfortable with silence in our own lives, right? So that was the first vision. The second vision, I saw a vision of spring flowers budding in winter. And I then had that, I saw that in my life when I was just walking. And I looked around and some of the trees were budding a bit soon, and it's only January. So then I had a dream about trees budding soon and these nice little buds coming up. And then because spring wasn't here yet, it was like a false regeneration or a false rebirth. And the frost froze little buds and they fell off. So I asked the council what that vision meant after I received it for the third time. For those of you who don't know how I work, this is how oracles work. We have to receive a vision 3 times in order for it to be true. And we also have to receive the vision 3 times in 3 days, 3 times in 3 weeks, or 3 times in 3 months. It has to be in a certain way. Those are the ethics of it. And it has to be of a certain flavor, a certain energy, a certain inflection. Like it has to happen the exact same way in 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months in order to follow not just the universal law of three, but the cosmic law of three. So after I received that one for the third time, I asked what it means, and the council said the tree buds too soon for your liking. Now it's a collective message of us trying to rebirth ourselves and push ourselves into all of these powerful spaces in our lives, make these powerful changes when maybe the mind or the body, the soul could be ready, but the mind and the body take a significant amount of time to follow along. I was this way with my ice skating this year, pushing myself, pushing myself, pushing myself. And I'm like, you know what? Body says slow down. And mind's getting a little stronger, but then when the body wasn't following along, I can typically push the mind through, but I cannot push my body through. It will not go, you know? And I could actually start to begin getting visions of how I would fall and what jumps I would fall on and what I would break. And I'm like, okay, that's a sign. So I remember reaching out to my coach going, you know what? I'm going to slow down and I'm not going to actually compete in February. I'm going to wait and I'm just going to see. And if my body's ready by March, we'll see. And if it's not, we'll look again at June. And if it's not ready, we'll look again in August. And if it's not ready, we'll look again in November. We got plenty of times to start becoming competitive in the field, right? So whatever you're trying to do, keep in mind the soul goes first. It's ready first, and then it tells the mind integrates it, gets visions, you feel it out. You start having visions of accomplishments in your body with something, and actually action, sacred action moving into place. But if your body isn't really, if you're not standing into sacred action, that typically doesn't, your body won't let you do something, right? It just doesn't happen. So the body takes 3 times as long. The mind takes 2 times as long, and the soul is typically quick to help you wake up and to instigate and activate a beautiful cosmic vision of your dharma. But January in particular is about choosing what dharma you're going to carry through the year. So I know many of you have received visions and you began your resolutions for the year, and this is a powerful, magical time to do that. However, also, it might be a really good idea to give your mind some time to catch up, integrate that in your mind for the rest of January and February. And then as you head into spring, it might be a more appropriate time to integrate something with your body and going into sacred action. Okay. Oh my gosh. When I see things, sometimes my eyes get itchy, or sometimes this is another thing with oracles. Sometimes we cry, or um, and not from great emotion always, but just like cry or itchy eyes or something happening to the eyes during the visions. Do you guys ever perceive that as channels who are visionaries? Clairvoyants do this kind of thing. Last year was my year of the nose running, and this year I can already see it through physical mediumship, it happening with my eyes. Okay, so the next vision, white flowers for Canada. That's what the council labeled this vision. White flowers typically represent grief and loss, a great loss for many due to death of a major leader. So that came about. I don't know who yet. I've received the vision 3 times and they haven't shared with me who, which tells me I'm not meant to. Typically, naming names when it comes to ethical channeling is not always something that we're going to want to do. So I'm going to give that time and see what happens and see who it is and see if I get, but if I'm not supposed to, if it doesn't come, I'm not going to, just keep trying. Okay. Colorado, the black swan. I got this image of this tiny little black swan in the midst of kind of a small pond. The big fish, small pond theme. This was like small bird, small pond, and all these huge white swans just kind of nipping at Colorado. And this was a division in Colorado's choices politically right now, and being in a different space than the rest of the US. And then as Colorado began to get more into this cute little black swan, I felt so bad that all these huge, like it was like 3, 4 times the size of the tiny little baby black swan. All the other white swans were nipping at it, going, "Come on, Colorado, join us, get bigger. What's wrong with you? Why can't you be strong?" Like bullying this little black swan. And at first, I felt sorry for this little black swan, but then, in this vision, the council gave me this vision of the swan was getting tired of it, and it was starting to fight back, and it was starting to get tough, and then it would grow bigger, and it was starting to accept its power. And as each of the swans would come up and try to take a chunk out of its backside, it would turn around and be like, "No," and just squawk at, and make noises at the other swans, and then it would grow in its power, like Colorado fighting back. And then Colorado became of equal size, not bigger or smaller, but like of equal size to all the other white swans around. And then everybody, it was interesting. Then Colorado got slightly bigger, but it wasn't haughty about it. It was just like, I'm happy that I'm in my power and very graceful. And Colorado having a good year in terms of local and statewide politics. So a lot of powerful things that make Colorado feel more in balance and more respected by other governors and other leaders in the political realm in Colorado for 2024. Right. But right now, people are looking at Colorado and the governments and going, "Why aren't you playing along with us and being all corrupt like we are?" And Colorado's like, "No." So that was interesting. Um, I got in this vision, the landslide song, it's Stevie Nicks. I'm kind of showing my age. So the landslide song coming about for Japan, huge landslide in Japan. Now, there was a part of Japan that wasn't necessarily prepared for this. And we had over 150 deaths in this vision. They were very specific that it was 150 plus. Yeah. I did not. I mean, I live in Michigan, so I'm always asking for predictions for Michigan. But I really didn't see much for Michigan that was, anything. But we'll look at it again if you want. If you guys want to hold your questions about individual states and countries and areas of the world until I'm done sharing the visions, if you don't mind. So just hold off because I won't scroll backwards. It's too much. But I got the song Landslide with Stevie Nicks, and it made me so sad. It was like this feeling of loss, landslide in Japan, and it was not metaphorical. I could tell that there was great loss in association with it. Okay, so Kentucky and Mississippi, particularly, get the flip off of your roads. You're going to have a icy winter, and there's going to be these horrendous ices in Kentucky and Mississippi for January coming up relatively soon, because these are visions I've just received these past few days. And one of them I've got the same vision the past few hours. So that means it's coming soon. So a vision of icy roads and a lot of unprecedented, like a lot of deaths from particularly major, the visions I got seem to be major interstates and motorways with jackknifing of trucks and running over smaller cars. And it was terrible vision. So stay off the roads. I know we're done with the holidays, so just kind of hunker down for the month. You're going to get some unexpected icy roads in the southern lands of Kentucky and Mississippi. And I just want you to stay home and stay safe and stop traveling for a while. Okay. With cryptocurrency, everything's just kind of the image I got overall for cryptocurrency predictions for January was this big bucket with and it didn't have dirty water. It had clean, clear, beautiful blue water, but this massive hole in the bucket just rushing out really fast. And then the cryptocurrencies in the coins in the bucket had nothing to support it. So they were just also falling out of the bucket, and people standing up underneath the bucket trying to catch it. And, and yeah, yeah. So it's don't expect any major rises for cryptos in January 2024. It would be a great time to buy in at a major low cost, but it's not, you're not gonna be making money in Cardano or Ethereum or Bitcoin or XLR or any of those major cryptos that we mentioned for January. Um, Overall, we're working on soul contracts. All right. This was the biggest theme. No, I did not perceive any scientific breakthroughs for January. I saw some warnings about medicine for January, and I have to give you that disclaimer that I'm not a doctor. I don't have any license to treat or diagnose or cure. So always ask your doctor when making your medical decisions about medicine. But I did get, not just for January, but for the whole year, some interesting links with a certain diabetes medication that people are using to lose weight. It's called Manjaro. And the link was to stroke and blood clots. So it starts to come out. I mean, people start to get curious about it in January, but it doesn't. They don't even start to figure this out until the end of the year. So for those of you who are taking that, I would just kind of really reconsider that and talk to your doctor. But more than talk to your doctor, talk to your soul, talk to your body. Know thyself is the biggest decree of the mysteries, right? So yeah. um Overall, the biggest thing, please hold your questions because I'm just trying to get through this last theme, and I won't see anything that you're saying right now because I'm just trying to get through the rest of the channeling. Overall, we're working on soul contracts and reviewing them. We're reviewing all the soul contracts that we had from last year, and it's a really good time to continue to let go and to not bring in old contracts from last year that were painful, maybe particularly the ones that you kept to protect you, like coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms that really weren't working for last year. Be cautious and mindful and discerning that you're not still holding on to those same defense mechanisms as you go into 2024. That was one of the bigger messages as well. So I have created a limited time offer for January. You can buy it in January, but book it whenever you want. Limited time offer for soul contract readings. And I'm going to be looking at each person's contracts that they healed in 2023 and what's still being carried over into 2024 or what was healed. And then I'm going to look at the dharma, the soul contracts of dharma for that you healed, that you activated in 2023 and ones you will be working on in 2024. So I'll be looking generally at the soul level and what comes with money, work, career, love, all those sort of things, and spiritual awareness and spiritual development as well. All those sort of things coming up is generally what you're going to get. It doesn't take me long to do it. You don't have to be present to get this reading, and I've got it majorly discounted at this limited time for January only. So get in on that if you can. It's really made it affordable. And when you get that discounted soul contract reading, then you'll get a recording of me doing that. You have to send your picture. That's the thing. And please don't put on sunglasses or hats, guys. I can't read your soul when you're covering your eyes. Yeah. So this is a year to find your true self. That's the final message coming from the council. Remember that the darker the world becomes, this peace hangs in the balance, but we can't grab onto it. I got this image of the sun dangling on a string, and we were all reaching for it, and yet simultaneously hanging on to our darkness and putting it around ourselves, and then we couldn't see the light of the sun in front of us. How can we see light when we're holding onto our darkness still, particularly our coping mechanisms? So no matter how dark the world becomes, it's still easier to find and see your own true light, and that is the illuminating nature of the Christed consciousness that is available to all of us this year. And when you begin to see yourself through the eyes of Cosmic Creator, you then begin to see the beauty of the illuminating light around you. All right? So let's be at peace and trust ourselves this year. Okay? All right, let's take questions. I will pull up the chat now and begin to look at questions starting now. And begin, if you already placed it, you might have to copy paste because I didn't look at anything before. All right. Lebanon. Wars, floods, food shortage. What's going on for January? Let's Let's take a look. I haven't done a Lebanon prediction in a few months. Gotta breathe this out. I try not to get sensitive during some of these visions, but sometimes I just do. And okay, there's some good dharmic visions as well. I was like worried there for a minute. Lebanon hasn't had a chance to even take a breath. It's like nothing ever stops. Your spiritual vision quest feels like it's just like this feeling of it being yanked underneath you, and you're not feeling strong because the moment you get a chance to recover from war, you get attacked. And this month is not different. There's a bombing and attack on Lebanon this month. I got the vision of that a couple months ago, and I put it on hold. And this is the third time I'm getting this vision. That's why I'm kind of emotionally reacting to it, because it's not a good one. I don't like to see women and children in pain. So the positive news about this is the only attack of the year for Lebanon. This is the last one, but it still doesn't make it that much easier, to really know, especially when you have women and children there and family members. So many of my clients have beautiful family there. And my heart really goes out to Lebanese women. They're super powerful beings, so creative and talented. So this is a year to clear toxic divine masculine energy and to remove a nasty patriarchy that's still in control of Lebanon. So this is a year of peace, but not in January, unfortunately. This is a year of freedom, just not in January, unfortunately. But I assure you that more powerful, positive, peaceful things are coming for you, Lebanon, just not this month. Okay. Oh my gosh. Somebody asked me a different question so I don't start crying. Jeez. U.S. border crisis. See, I don't have a particular view that you have about that. Tell me more. What is your idea of the border crisis? What are you specifically wanting to know, in other words, David, about the border crisis, or what do you think is a border crisis? Jesse, thanks for the super chat. I'll get you next. Okay, US, you've lost your magic with this topic when it comes to immigration and what you perceive as a border crisis. The volatility surrounding that is toning down in January, but the wake-up call that you were meant to receive you have not received it. You have not understood that you require imminent immigrants as the foundation of your world because you don't want to work. Right? You will become a much more nurturing, peaceful nation this month when it comes to the border crisis. The border crisis will be put at rest for the month. You still have your boundaries up stronger than usual. Not that that's necessarily a good thing for you, but the border crisis will be at rest this month in comparison to how it was last year. All right, Jesse says, once I channeled a female deity while on shrooms. Okay. And since then, I've been feeling her. Can you help me determine who she is? Let's ask your ancestors. We'll use the ancestral deck. I have seen this being before, and she has a lot of arms. And she has one of her arms in a mudra, and the other arm carrying little beads. She is the green Tara, and she says, last year you had a hard time being thankful. You had a hard time being grateful when your world kept shifting and you couldn't start over. Please take this moment to go into a silence and give me your pain. That is her message to you. Give me your pain. right? Let's see, who's this? Amanda says, I live in New Zealand. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm thinking about moving from the North Island to the South Island. Is this in my soul contract? You should get a soul contract reading so you can go deeper on it. Let's use the soul contract cards. See what comes up. Look at the Akash for a moment. Oh boy. So last year, when you thought about this, it wouldn't have been the right choice. We get the choice card in the reverse karmic positioning. But this year, you have a powerful blessing. The blessing of Al Hakim represents sacred divine masculine pushing you forward. And if you don't take it, the blessing just kind of pushes you beyond the threshold of fear in order to make that happen. So last year wasn't the time. Now is the time. That's a yes, but the feeling of it is pushed to your levels of discomfort as well, right? Yes isn't always easy, is what I'm hearing, right? Oh my. Oh, that's so cool. Claudia said, I guess, Tara, before you said it, you must have been feeling into that energy and feeling what she feels like. Um, let's see. Iran. Okay. Let's look at Iran. This energy, the council says the energy of sticking its nose in places that it shouldn't and saying that it has the right to do it. Stay in your own lane, Iran. They're not doing that this month. Now, they have some powerful positive reasons to not be doing it, yet it's going to cause for some trouble. Right. Thanks for the super chat, Daphne. I'll get you next. So because of not staying in your lane and sticking your nose in the business of two other countries who are warring right now, you don't have too much cause to celebrate. There's financial woe in Iran right now for the majority of the month. And then you'll go back into your sanctuary, right? And when you're in that holy space, Iran, then it's like the light of the Christ shines through you. The light of the world shines through you. Then at that point, you will begin to identify more with your original state of truth. Iran does have, the vision I'm getting now is a state of divine feminine, female, woman and children creativity rising and women being able to speak truth more. I talked a little bit about this in my world predictions. Overall, though, it's like women get more rights this month in Iran, but then they still haven't accepted it and they're still afraid. So that's just the nature of it. Sometimes, Iran's given rights and then they have it yanked from them. So it's not easy for personal self-acceptance and trust when your government keeps saying, yeah, do it. And then they kill you. That's not easy, right? Daphne says, I'm waiting on an investment to pay out and I'm wondering where will I be the most help in moving to Texas or Arizona? Or am I stuck in a teaching job I'm set to start and causing anxiety? The council said when you say, okay, these are the only two states I can go to, that's a limit. When you say I'm either going to do this or then I'm stuck in that, that's a limit. Keep that in mind. Let's do some soul contracts in regards to Texas. So Texas, it's like last year when you thought about Texas, the commitment that you made in your own life wouldn't let you do it. This year, when you think about Texas, it is an enlightenment journey, but not an easy one. We have the nothing to everything card, like rags to riches would be a great idea financially, but it's also a great sacrifice personally. Now let's take a look at Arizona for you now. And it's like some of the things are like, is it worth it? In a sense, it could be because it's an enlightenment journey, but the sacrifice could be the money is what I was getting from that soul contract read. For a soul contract for you, Daphne Crystal, for moving to Arizona. Oh, this is wonderful. so much better in a sense. Sacred offerings of the divine feminine as supported by soul sisters and soul family that you meet around you. Beautiful spiritual opportunities and your divine discontent that you currently have would be healed. Whew. Or pick the harder path, which is an enlightenment path. And then there's no money. This is why we got the lion and the deer card, because like the lion and the deer represents, okay, you get something, but then something's taken, right? Lisa Smith. And for those of you, if I don't get a chance to read your soul contracts, keep in mind I have the soul contract reading available at a very discounted price for January only to be able to, or you can purchase it in January only, but you can schedule it whenever you want. But it's for purchase only in January. Lisa's soul contracts for spiritual awakening this year. Let's take a look at it. It's okay. For last year's karma, you weren't tapping enough into the cosmic consciousness of your own heart. The cosmic heart comes up. Like it's like your own heart was saying, you know what? I need to heal. I'm not worried about spirituality because I need to heal my own emotions. I need to do that first to where I can even feel well enough about it. So you didn't perceive that blessing and you're coming out of the tail end of grief. So still a dark night of the soul. However, by the end of 2024, we have the dissolving light contract. That is an enlightenment card. It's like this is the card that makes it all worth it, despite all the dark night and feeling like you don't have the blessings and the resources and the support. This is a year of enlightenment for you. Let's see. Lala loves. Okay. What do you want me to ask? Oh, there it is. My sister is on life support. Oh, I'm so sorry. From double pneumonia and flu, and she coded 2 times and was brought back almost 30 minutes first time. Is she still in her body? Oh my goodness. What's her name? What's her first name? Oh, she's 33. Oh, bless. Okay. Okay. Lala, what's your sister's name? So much love to you. Okay, so we get the focus card saying that she was deeply at focus on making some decisions and kind of wanting to be at rest. And then their body went into a state of volatility and then a state of peace. When we get the rest card, she is out of pain. I will say that she is out of pain. Okay. And there's a lot of, when we get the clearing the energy card, it means she's working on healing something, right? And this is really, really interesting. She's divinely protected. This tells me like she's still there, but making a decision whether or not just to rest and leave form. And that she's out of pain, but she hasn't made the decision yet. She's still there, but she may not be for much longer. That's like the feeling I'm getting. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You guys send him some love. Why don't I see my super chat? I don't know. I see it. Yasha says, what should I consider when thinking about staying abroad for a while versus finding a home in the U.S. at the time? Oh, Yadira. Okay. I know you. Let's see. Insofar as soul contracts when staying abroad, if you were to choose that. easy, but it's good. We have the way shower card. Now, here's the problem with that. You have this commitment, and it is an enlightenment journey. All right. It's in your soul for the majority of this year, but you haven't made the commitment in your mind and your body yet. Your soul wants this, but your mind and your body doesn't. That's a tough one, honestly. So that's something to consider. Victoria, why am I seeing 111? Let's do a quick soul contract with the 1111 that you keep seeing. Typically speaking, 111 is you're on the right track, but 1111 is you were on the right track. We need to come back. That's what some of your guides are saying around you. Specifically speaking, you've been making some decisions that cause you to rise from pain, particularly when it comes to love and lack of resources in relation to love, and you're no longer willing to make a painful sacrifice for love. The 1111 is giving you the indication that that's true. Okay. Jana says my stepdaughter has bad eczema. Is there anything I could do to help her? What's her name? Her first name? Again, whenever anyone asks me a medical question, I always have to tell you that I'm not licensed to treat, diagnose, or offer any cures. Always ask your doctor if I give you any advice. But I would tell you what I'm sensing is to work with marshmallow root, except externally, not just internally. Try externally, making a salve with it. That'll help. But let's see. I still don't have a name that you've given me, Jana, for your stepdaughter. Hannah? Okay. What I'm sensing is that it's food oriented and hormones. It's like she is in angst about her divine feminine qualities, her sexuality, who she is as a woman, and Divine Mother is working with her right now. So this will clear up when it's time. Sometimes when we worry a lot about eczema, it's like, and then it clears up on its own when we start accepting who we are, particularly as women in this case. All right. Okay. Let's see. Who is a spiritual guide I can best work with right now? How do I contact them? Let's see who's here. I'm going to show up. I'm going to use the soul contract deck for you, Jesse. We have powerful Buddhist figure. I recognize that one. That's Thich Nhat Hanh. Didn't he pass not too long ago last year? Bless him. We also have Yeshua, aka Jesus. And we have Archangel Michael, otherwise known as Michael. And we have various degrees of female beings around you. We have the White Tara, Lilith, and a guide of yours named Layla. And what Layla is saying is that you need to rise and commit more to your creative nature and consider yourself as an artist right now. Consider what art you want to share this year. Okay, Teza Lawrence. Now, Teza, you didn't give me any questions, so I'm going to look back through chat and see if I can see anything. Yeah, I don't see any question. Did you have one? If not, I'll just do a quick soul contract read. No, Sandra, I didn't see your question. You guys have to put it in the chat. When you're writing the chat, there's a little place you can put that. So Teza, I didn't see a question from you. So it's a year of sacred convergence. So mind over matter when it comes to money and money contracts, healing divine discontent in terms of fear of lack of resources, and working with Divine Mother and asking for mercy when you're worried about lack of money. So work with the finances this year and trust is the main message I'm getting there from your Divine Mother spirit guides. Let's see. Sandra, I'll go to you next, but you still didn't ask me a question. What is the question? Fluffy feeling, I would, if you want to know how to find your angels, I would look up my videos about that here on this channel. I have a couple of them called All About Angels, and that'll help. Sandra, let's see. Said, sorry, I asked about my new business venture. Will I lose money or will it be okay? Okay. You know what? I'm going to do Karma Dharma on that one for that question. Let's see. Will the business lose money will be okay? Okay. There's still a lot of fear, money-wise, that you still need to purify from last year's contracts. And it's like you got a big wake-up call about shifting into business. And it's like you're afraid of the wake-up call. You spent all the winter solstice being in reflection over making this decision with the business. You're now feeling strong enough this year. This business will give you an opportunity to stand more in your truth, and the finances will also support that. And you've cleared last year's energy. So, yes, it should. Now, am I getting that feeling from your guides that it'll just be like, pooh, I can quit my job? Wait, you already did, didn't you? Some people do that. I'm just going to quit my job. Right. It's not making that much, but it's enough for you not to go broke. And then it just, month after month, it gets better and better and better. And by the end of the year, it's fairly flourishing, is what your guides are saying. Yep. Natalie, I didn't see a super chat. Happy to answer your question, but you're bossy today. Jeez. Is it a good time for Natalia to relocate? It bugs me when people say they super chatted and they didn't. And then they're like, this is the 10th super chat that I've given you. You're going to answer my question. And I'm like, don't boss me. I'll take it because I've known you for a while. This is my year to be more humble. So I try to laugh it off. All right. Let me go back to the question. Last year wouldn't have been a good time. Lack of resources and fear. Be more prayerful. The guides aren't going to tell you where to move, but they are going to say that you finally have gotten out of fear and you've narrowed it down to 3 choices. And the third one is a charm. Hint, hint. You've broken out of the fear, so it will be a good time to go. Yeah, Jenny, what do you want to know about soul contracts? Soul contracts are agreements that you've made between yourself and your soul family to come to Earth and to learn certain things and then to feel certain levels of expansion, right? So there's karma and dharma in soul contracts. And some of that karma is very difficult because we are in a dualistic world, but the dharma is incredibly expansive and beautiful and leads us more into a spiritual journey for whatever that personally looks like for each person. So we, in pre-birth intention, set those soul contracts before we even incarnate. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's see. Chris Kimbark, you're next, but I did not see a question. So if I don't see a question now, I'm moving on to a general. Is there a choice? Yeah, you made the choice already. You made it before you were born. And you made it for darn good reasons. You just don't remember. So the important part is to remember. Yeah, there is a choice. And you made it before being born. Chris, you did the super chat. You already did it. And thank you. But I didn't see a question. Do you have one? I'm shuffling for you right now. Oh, that's a good idea. Buck said, can you do a group pull? I would love that. I don't see a question, Chris. So you healed so much karma from last year. When you get the shadow card coming up in the Dharmic position, congratulations. You are now in both mental and physical expression of all of the karma that you've learned last year. But here's the problem. You still haven't put it into action just yet. It's like you're afraid of success, afraid of the changes that it would come. You get the new world in the karmic positioning. Please ask for the grace of courage. Call in Archangel Michael. He's one of your favorites. And you are one of his favorites. So why not? Yeah. Lala wants a soul contract. Let's see. Soul contracts for the year. It is a year of offerings. It is a year of unveiling the cloak of the Christ, means going into unity consciousness, oneness, and making offerings in service for people, in deep uniting people in collectives who typically don't even get along, uniting people who have different political beliefs, different financial levels of standing, like getting beyond class and all that, and giving them offerings that help them connect and communicate better with each other. Now, here is kind of a concerning thing. We get the Beyond Death to Life card, but in the reverse position, showing that you have some mediumship capacity that you are ignoring. So you personally in your spiritual development, like you're not letting it through. So I would definitely get yourself a spiritual mentor and open up, unveil that gift for yourself. All right. Let's see. You guys asked me to do a group poll for everyone that's here live right now, or for everyone who happens to see that later. We'll do a karmic dharmic spread for you for the year. And this will be interesting because it's kind of who's here with us. What is all of our karma and dharma for the year collectively going to be? Me included. Okay. Plenty of karma, plenty of dharma, fairly equal. Most of us watching this today have healed all of our karmic contracts from last year. All right. And that will be a great relief. However, we still don't realize the degree of magic inside of us. And we haven't purified fear. People will be working through fear because fear prevents the access of resource to the soul's magic. Many of us here today are struggling with communication issues this year with people that we love, but many of us have a great understanding of our soul's path and how that fits into the collective. Yeah. Nick Weber wants a read on his finances for the year. You are welcome, and thank you for the super chat. Let's take a peek. Oh, this is good. I love when I get the River card in finances. But let's take a peek at anything that comes up karmically as well. I'm sorry I shuffle so loudly. I have huge, strong hands. I don't have these little delicate flower hands like most girls. Okay, you're in focus this year. And there is movement, huge movement and deep focus for money to come into space this year. Start out the year in a good way, but by mid-year, there's a creative project that you are considering, but you're saying, I don't need to start it right now. I need to wait until the spring. I need to wait until March, April, or May. So that's a problem because it is your responsibility to start that contract now. You have the resources now. You have the strength now. And if you don't mind this message, you're going to miss out on a powerful opportunity that could be like money for the rest of your life. Do you understand? And sometimes that takes some sacrifice. So while you have focus and while you have strength and while you have movement with money, it's time to invest it wisely because this is the year, the opportunity of a lifetime. And if you don't, you're going to be kicking yourself with the opportunity that you miss. All right. Let's see how I've been looking. I know it. I've been alone the entire time, and not only alone, but the outcast and the black sheep, the crazy one. I do know how where to look and for opening up mediumship. Okay, um, who would I send you to? I'm gonna send you to Emily Schultz. Google her. Have fun, Emily. She's an incredible teacher and a channel and a medium herself, so she will understand what you're going through. Let's see. I look at people and I kind of like align energies to see. Okay. Happy New Year. What can I look forward to in 2024? Let's do a Karma Dharma pull for you, Daisley. I'm glad you said your name because I have somebody else with that same name, like in their YouTube moniker, and it confuses me every time I see both of you because it is quite literally the same. And one male, one female, totally different from each other, energy-wise. So let's do a Karma Dharma spread for Daisley for 2024. Daisley is also another incredibly talented medium. You guys should look her up. You made a promise to yourself. And you didn't keep it last year. And something happened and you were concerned about someone around you, possibly in your family. But now you're back in your flow, strong and hard. This is a Dharma, back in your flow, right? Last year, you miscommunicated with your guides about that message with your loved one in terms of what you could do and what you couldn't do, and you felt powerless. But this year, being back in your ebb and flow means you have more divine love to give to others, to your clients, to your husband. There's going to be so much joy for the year because of that. So your energy of service to the world as a medium, as a channel is going to be strong, and you are so divinely protected. So I know people are coming to you right now for entity work and this hard stuff, but honestly, they're in good hands. They're in good hands. I know you don't always like it, but they're in good hands. You are divinely protected. Entities flee from you, so stop being afraid of the entities. Whew, that's a hard message. See, I don't like it. When people come to me with entities, I'm like, yeah, go somewhere else. I can't. Too sensitive for that. Do you see my crypto portfolio recovering? What's your first name? Quiet Moment is the moniker that I'm looking at. What is your name? No, April, it hasn't left you. You're in Dark Night of the Soul. That is the gift. The Dark Night is the gift. I want you to read Luminous Darkness by Mirabai Starr, and then you will understand what's going on, and you will never have this question again. Your gift will return even more powerful than ever. But let this Dark Night of the Soul, just let it consume you. Let it enliven you. Let it heal you. Quiet Moment. You left me a super chat, and you want to know about your crypto portfolio, but I don't know what your name is. Come on now. Chat is slow. You want a soul contract reading instead? Yes, but I don't know your name. Okay. Okay. So I'll do both. Ben. Okay. Ben, are you male? Female? Male? Neither? What is it? You got both energies going on. Okay, let's look at Ben's crypto portfolio, and then we'll look at the soul contracts. It gets there. It clears from the pain, but you had some vision that you didn't trust, and you went on it anyway. When something inside you was saying, no, 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 wait, don't do that, don't invest. So the magic that you had, you're kind of not on a roll. You're not communicating with yourself. You didn't stop to take a breath in order to really understand what was going on. You'll get a lot more deeper understanding of some of your losses, and you will clear these energies this year. But the guides are suggesting not to reinvest for a little while. Take a breath and just try to figure out what happened, because it's not a month that looks better. By June and July, you will notice a lot of recovery, but you've got to learn to trust yourself a lot more. All right, soul contracts for Alea. And I really am hoping that that is your name. This year for Alea, the Sacred Phoenix Heart and the current positioning, this is actually the last year's card. You didn't heal from that, so there's some sacred love contracts that are still kind of hurting in your heart and causing that karma doesn't feel like a blessing right now. But Divine Mother is giving you so many offerings to work with this year. So it's time to take that pain and create an offering to heal your heart. This year is about creating offerings from the spaces of pain that you've been in. Okay. Is there a connection between Yahweh and Anki and Enlil? People who write books about it say that they are, but the council says that Anki and Enlil are original peoples of the earth during Atlantis and Lemuria that represented darkness and light. And Yahweh was a prime creator that came in like a force field that created a matrix energy. Right? So in that way, Yahweh was the prime creator energy of the dualistic constructs from which our earth was created. Anki and Enlil are just people that represent division, groups of people that represent either darkness or light. You understand? So Anki and Enlil are people. They are groups. They are soul groups, not a person. They are soul groups. Yahweh is a prime creator that instructed them to create the matrix systems based upon duality, darkness and light. Yeah. Prisma Crystalla, are there any beings, guide angels around to work with me who I'm currently not aware of? That's not how this works. One of the things that we do, we tend to want something new. We get used to a flavor of a guide and we're like, but give me a different one, but give me a new one. I want to know all of them. Then we spend our lives getting to know names and personas. Learn proper spiritual inquiry in terms of learning what you're really wanting to know. You're not really wanting to know how they, in their personal systems and constructs, get your attention. What you want to know is how your own soul gets your attention. Forget about these guides and beings and angels. They just get your attention because when you're in a dark space, you need something magical and fancy to get your attention. But that's not really what's going to get you to where you want to go. They're there when you're not paying attention, for sure. But how about wanting to get to know your soul? How your soul gets your attention, and how that happens is through the mediumship of your body. You're an empath and a physical medium. They give you all sorts of physical and emotional responses, okay, and your physical and emotional energies. That's how they get your attention. But it's not going to matter about one guide that you currently don't know. What is that name and energy going to do to give you more awareness of yourself if you're not currently aware? Do you understand my answer? Right. I'm just not going to do that because it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything to know a name of a guide who you currently do not know. That means nothing. Right. I offend a lot of people when I teach because What if we didn't get to know our guides and our angels, but we just got to know the soul? The first decree of the mysteries is know thyself. And then suddenly all these other things come up, and then all these guides are known, and then we get to play in that field. But it is still a dualistic creation field, guides and angels. They are just as much in the matrix system as you are. Angels and guides are bound to you. They are bound in the matrix system to help you. They're not greater than you. They aren't, right? So I want you, while you have my attention, to ask me a different question. And that question is going to give you an answer that is anything more than me just telling you the name of some unknown guide, right? Shoot from the heart. Go ahead and type it out. What is your true question? What is it that you're always really looking to know, right? And I'll come back to that. Raquel, soul contract with progress. How do I make the most progress this year? Your soul is saying to me, forget about progress and let's talk about consistency. Let's talk about being on board. Let's talk about being disciplined and motivated and encouraged. Let's talk about energy to be consistently devoted and committed to progress, right? A lot of changes last year. We get the victim of Miriam card, but you're still not honoring your divine feminine. You're looking for change, 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 action, action. But we have the divine feminine card in the karmic positioning, which shows that you're all about masculine action and changes and things that are going to give you progress. Good news is you're healing a lot of human pain this year, but we do need this card to become right side up. We do need to accept the feminine a lot more, calm down, and forget about what your mind and body are doing in the progress. What about your soul? What about if your soul takes direction and then all the progress is just something that you're consistently is happening through you? Not to you or for you, but through you in ways that you just feel, in ways that spark you, that enliven you, that invigorate you and light you up. That's what I'm hearing this year for you. Hello, hello.
I missed Patty's one.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'll get to him when I get to him.
It's way at the top. You might see it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll leave it there.
I won't be able to get to everybody that super chats me, guys, by the way. I don't always. Patty says 3 months I was visited by 4 entities and they telepathically communicated and they've been with me all my life. They were tall and I knew as I knelt and looked up. These aren't star beings. These are soul family beings. These are guardians. These are protectors. And they are of an angelic race. These are what I call Elohim. Let's see. Liz asked, am I on the right path? I'm getting like so much up and down with this one. Yes, but you'll see here in a second. Okay, so last year was a lot of volatility and you healed that pain. It's a lot of pain and you've calmed down. You're on the right vibrational path in your life, the harmony card, but you still haven't purified a lot of the fears that came in from a lot of disruption with both love and money from last year. This year, you've taken a rest from that. You've opened up to the bigger picture and where your creative gifts fall in place for serving life itself. So you are on the right path according to these dharmic soul contract cards here, okay? Let's see. LK, a read about business opening this year, please. What is your name? Because it probably isn't L. I'm going to assume it is until you say so. So you made some big changes, and after a lot of thought and reflection, going into fall and winter of last year, after a lot of thought and reflection, you were able to get out of a job or get out of a business or make some changes. You're worried that what you're wanting to do now would also be difficult. You haven't been following your practical intuition. Um, you haven't worked a lot with being compassionate to yourself with all the strength that it took to get out of difficult business relations last year. So take some time, follow your more practical intuition, and stick with your truth and trust it. Right now, it looks like it's up and down. It's like it could go one way or the other. And if you don't honor your practical intuition, that would not be a good outcome. But right now, they're just saying you still need some time to make this successful, and you need to trust yourself more. Okay. Eloisa, I didn't realize we had to super chat. You don't have to. I appreciate it, but yeah, you don't have to. What can you tell me about channeling? Eloisa, be more specific. Otherwise, you get a general read. And I know you're looking for, like, you mean you're channeling, or like, what do you mean? Let's look at it, soul contracts. Let's do that. Maybe it can be welcomed out that way. Okay. You know, the courage that you have right now in channeling is getting stronger. All right. You have healed a lot of your divine discontent in terms of your ability to channel, but what you're missing is that you're an actual medium, and there are a lot of deceased beings who want to reach out to you, and you are pushing them away. So that's the hard news, but luckily you've healed a lot of fear and a lot of divine discontent. It was a tough initiation into your mediumship capacity. So it's like you're still irritated by it or scared of it or something. So you need to work on that, but you have a lot of courage. And those are the things that should go well, but it's like because of your courage, as you get stronger, but you do have to accept the gift. If you keep being afraid of it, you can't become a good medium. So this is still, it's like a, yes, but, yeah, work on that. Soul contract for Gloria. Let's see what Gloria is looking at for 2024. You know what, Barbara, Faye, I'm going to do you next on that. Okay, Gloria, last year you didn't accept your healing capacities. You were too busy with family stuff and work. This year, you're starting to get it. Divine Mother's working, and you're going to be creating offerings. That's what you're meant to do. But you're still not making the commitment. It's like there, you're feeling it more, but why aren't we doing it? Ugh. Work on it. Guys, you know I'll tell you like it is. Okay, Barbara, I need to know your son's name. Let's all give a moment of silence to send some prayers to Barbara Faye Robbins' son right now. Okay? Before we do this reading, if you'll do that. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, Tony is his name. I kind of want to look at this from the soul contract realm, because sometimes the question of is someone going to walk again, not necessarily ethical if they're not in a space to handle the answer. Remember that. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen, but we do need to understand the contracts, right? So Tony needs to trust his decisions this year. Despite the fact that this is happening, we get the Rise card. Now that's very indicative. It's like, does that mean he'll walk and rise? I don't know, but we got the contract card. I don't know if this means he gets to rise in other ways, but I do feel like he's blaming God, some degree of energy of I'm mad at God right now, and that would not be the right choice to make. We need to let this lift us in other ways so that he can rise out of this pain and heal. Okay. And it's a contract for other people around him as well, not just for him. Right. Let's see. Claudia says, is there anything I should look out for this month? Did I answer that already? I just can't even remember. Someone do it again because I don't remember. This is like a part of getting old. This month for you, Claudia, it's about focusing on your offerings, getting beyond fear, and creating sacred convergence for the world. All in one year. Woohoo! All right. Let's see. I do remember doing some of these. I'm just scrolling through. Gianluca is going to Barcelona, going to be successful for me. Any guidance around it is moving to Barcelona, got to be successful. If I did it already, just hear me out. There must be something we already needed to know. I just don't feel like I did. Well, this is so cool. Time to go. It is a rebirth. It'll put you back into your flow. Those are the 3 Dharma cards I got. Let's ask for karma cards now and see if there's any karma in this that we need to be aware of. I've known Gianluca for a very long time. So let's take a look at this. Guys, he's an incredible artist and channel. You should check him out. They are an incredible artist and channel. That just came through. I don't know why. Obviously, I need to catch up with you. You didn't follow your original vision. It's like you're choosing to change it. Don't do that. Last year was a year of healing grief, and you've done it. Barcelona means freedom, and you know it. Don't talk yourself out of this, is what I'm hearing at the soul level. Let's see. Who was next? CJ, is there a message? Let's ask your ancestors. I'm sorry that my cards are just so... Okay. It is in divine order for you right now to honor your expression, and you're worried that that wouldn't look good in the public eye, or that your family wouldn't like it, or your friends wouldn't like it, or people would, when you get the King Arthur upside down, it's like, oh, this would make me fall out of status, or yeah, don't worry about how people view you. This year is about you. Okay. Victoria, let's do a moment of silence and prayer for Victoria's grandfather. She wants to know if he is at peace, and he has just left this world. Okay. What is his name? Victoria, if you're still here. This green hat. I don't know if that's a symbol or if he actually has a green hat that he used to wear, but he's like, I get that feeling of that. Take hats off to you in this green hat. Great loss to people, right? He knows that you guys are grieving. He has healed all of his pain in his life, and he is at peace. We get the peace. It's time to go. We get the hourglass card here that dragon is so lovingly holding. So yes, the answer is yes. I don't know if this means he was at war or a part of a war, but I'm getting this energy of a submarine coming through and then coming up out of the water also as well. Like it's literal and metaphorical. He says you'll know what it means. Okay. Who was after that? Patty M wants to know what's in store for 2024 in regards to her gifts. Will they be activating? If yes, what they are. Your gifts are shifting this year for sure. And it's like that energy of what you thought would happen. It's like a completely different gift unfolding. So we have the shape-shifting card, moving in and out of the astral field, a little bit more of a unique gift in relation to healing on the astral field. But it's new to you, so it's like you aren't really grasping the contract yet. But it's there through every lifetime. We get the DNA karmic card. It's what you're meant to do. You are going to be divinely connected, but you need to cleanse the physical field of your aura right now. You had a hard year with health, and you're just now getting strong enough in 2024 to do this type of work, but it is work on the astral field, which means it can be tedious on the physical body. So keep yourself healthy and make sure you're always doing your psychic energy hygiene, your frequency management, your yoga, your dance. You need movement. I know that about you. Ruth wants a soul contract reading. Let's see. Okay. Ask for the grace of discernment. This will be a year of trusting your choices because last year you didn't. You are coming out of the divine discontent and the problems and the pain that year held when you didn't trust your choices. And this is a year to begin to trust your choices. That's your soul contract for 2024 at the general. Keep in mind when I do these on my website, that when the new soul contract reading that came out limited for this month, it's I do much more specifics. I'm just giving you a general basis of it. Okay. Reagan wants a message for the new year. How are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time. Okay. You are concerned about your health this year. I heard that before I pulled the card. But you need to be in prayer and you're not. Do you still think it's religious? What's this thing that people have where they think prayer is religious? Prayer is a lifeline to your soul. It isn't about religion. It's about your connection to a cosmic consciousness. Do not get me started on this tangent. Your prayer is about your connection to the universe, which is still so strong. Please pray. If you're worried about your body, please feed it well. Okay, Svetlana wants a soul contract reading. Hey, Svetlana, I haven't talked to you in a long time either. How are you doing? Let's see here. There's as a physical meeting, I can feel energy just healing, just leaving the right side of my body as I talk to you. So if you're struggling with the right side body balance this year, please just do some somatic energy work because it's like that, whatever that is, will begin to balance. You will develop, unless you develop a strong passion for a purpose, you have the courage to move forward with it. You're a very loving person, right? But it's like heaven was in store, but you keep feeling unworthy to receive it or to create it or to be it or to do it or offer it. Why? Work on that. You are worthy of it. Okay, Dion, is that your name? Yes or no? Or what is your name? It's harder for me to do a soul contract reading without your name for this one. Yes. Okay. Super. Let's do a soul contract reading for Dion for 2024. Man, I feel like I'm running on spirit fumes today. It's just energy's just going and going and going. I would have been dead by now, practically, energy-wise. Divine Mother's coming through you very, 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 very strongly. This is an enlightenment contract. However, You're not letting it happen. You're holding yourself back. We have the sacred phoenix heart in the karmic position, showing that you're worried about emotions and emotions kind of escalating out of your control. And you're worried about heart healing. Don't be. When you're working with Divine Mother, why would you say no? Even if you feel bad, even if you're worried, even if you're sick, whatever the even if is, it's important that you get through that right now. Right? Okay. Let's see who's next here. Should I move towns, and will this support my spiritual and career progression? Let's see. What I'm hearing from the council is who you running from and where are you running? Who you running from and who you running to? Let's see what else comes up in the karma and the dharma of that move. I'm getting mixed signals here. Yes, move towns. You're going to, whether I say so or not. That's one thing that I'm hearing from the council. You haven't activated enough of your business mind, like your spiritual path and your gifts are on fire, right? But the business mind is just kind of out to town right now. This is still a business, people. When you have a spiritual business, if you're considering it, you still need to do a lot of the same things that you would do for a regular business in the 3D and the corporate world. True. Check out my secret commerce classes and learn that sometimes like a spiritual business is even more work than a day job, right? It's nonstop. So you have the proper cosmic perspective. You will begin to see the big picture when you move. You are divinely connected. You are meant to work in the spiritual industry. You're here to nourish and help others nourish and heal themselves, to help them follow the path of their own soul. You know all this, but it's not moving towns that does this. That's not what creates the activation, right? Okay, let's see who's next. About my sister, what is humanely a good time frame being on life support before deciding to let her go? You can't ask me that. My heart will break. I am very, very human. What I have to be mindful of as an oracle on this planet is that an oracle will never answer a question that should not be answered. So instead, I want you to understand the contract, and I know in my heart and soul here that you will receive and you will feel a right time for this. All right? But no one can tell you that time. It's not ethical. Let's see. Can I get a reading for what I need to hear the most? You absolutely can. Oh, she said, I feel so lost in so many areas of my life. You guys send her tons of energy right now. Truly, just stop what you're doing and send Julie in chat a bunch of energy right now. Let's see. Let's do a karmic dharmic stretch. Sometimes we just need a little bit of hope to keep, like, hope is a charisma that fuels us during times when we feel lost and when we don't trust making any choices about direction, right? Last year was a time of volatility, but you shifted out of it, okay? You're still, because of the things that happened last year, you're not feeling safe being vulnerable or opening your heart or trusting humans right now, but you will get a lot of relief from healing of grief, right? It's a hard time in your heart, so focus on healing your heart right now, even if you have to kind of push back and push other people's needs away right now. That's what you need to hear. It's time for you, is what I'm hearing. Sharon, or Nessa, any messages for me? Let's ask your ancestors. Okay. Please understand that even when your heart is broken, especially when it comes to love, even when you don't feel nourished or understood, even when you feel judged, that true love happens in your heart. True home is right there in your soul. You will feel more at home soon, but don't expect it to come from love that another person had to give in your past. There will not be another karmic repeat or another dharmic opportunity. It's time for home and self-love in here, in the soul. That is the message that you need to hear right now. All right. All right. What is coming for me financially from VK? Is that your name? Is it K? Let's look at money this year for VK. Virginia. Okay. Oh, wow. It's a good year. Despite the fact that you're still carrying over some fears and recovering from a lot of financial loss last year, you had a huge wake-up call that's still kind of lingering. So you're a little afraid. You did create a sacred intention and you went into a sacred space when it came to your finances this year. And you will be nurtured financially this year. You will receive a lot of financial relief by doing what brings you joy. All right, remember that. Do what brings you joy. Good year for you overall, Virginia. Okay, any messages for Billy? Let's ask your ancestors. If you're just signing on live, I did my January world prediction and cosmic energy update earlier, so you can just scroll back if you feel like it. Right now, we're just doing individual questions. Ooh, that card just fell, just like fell out. Okay. So, despite the fact that love is going in an awkward position this year, it's just very non-existent, neutral when it comes to love life. You will feel more at home with your love of the galactics this year, your connection to your galactic soul family, and you are stepping in your power. The Oisin card represents divine masculine power and self-acceptance and feeling home in your divine masculine capacity. All right. Oh, thank you for that, Virginia. That's so sweet. C. Brown wants a general read for 2024 for you. What's your name? Chinita? Okay. Okay. You have healed a lot of divine discontent. Coming over from last year, there wasn't a lot of grace in your life then. And it was like, what I mean by there wasn't a lot of grace, it was like people misunderstanding you. The energy that I'm getting from this card in the karmic position is like people just kind of being crass and unholy and just kind of, anytime you try to share your true divine nature, your true gifts, your true passions, that just like putting you down and insulting you, and this energy of like, oh, sure, you can, sure, like really insults and a lot of pain. This year, you move beyond that divine discontent and you have a new passion for your purpose despite the haters. Okay? Despite that. And that's going to be important this year. All right? Michaela, sometimes I can do that and sometimes I can't. This is a hard portal for mediumship for me with the deceased. What is his name? We'll invite him in. He just made a card fly out of my deck. It's like he's going to come in. What's his name? Norton. Okay. He says, it's the don't do what I did message. This is a hard one. He has healed from this. There is an energy in your family, like of like not trusting your truth, not trusting your power. And that's what the men in your family showed for a while prior to his passing. And like the men in the family would put out the fire of the women around them. But that didn't happen between you and him. But it's happening in your life right now. Don't let anyone put out your fire. He said, I had to heal from that. And you don't even need to let it happen. I'm also getting like, I don't know what this means if he's telling you to go ride a motorcycle or if he's riding a motorcycle. I doubt it's him. Feels more you oriented, but like putting on the helmet and riding the motorcycle and flying through the wind. He wants you to be a little bit more brazen and letting your passions, like that feeling of riding in the wind and your hair going everywhere and feeling alive and feeling on fire. That's your energy. That's what he wants you to always be. Right? And so he said, you were on fire for the world and you still are. Yeah. All right. Aaliyah, is that your name? Or is it Aaliyah? Yeah. Is it Aaliyah or Aaliyah? You're here to bridge consciousness between cultures and ideas and concepts of people who don't get along. You don't always like that, but that's your gift. Not everybody has gifts of clairvoyance or clairaudience or spiritual gifts. Spiritual gifts aren't always to do with what mission, with what abilities you have. I want people to get a deeper understanding of that gifts are more to do with what you're here, with how your life serves this world. So you have a passion for a purpose in terms of dance, fashion. You typically are just on fire for all that. And you would like for people to get along. All that's coming out. And you're going to be working with Divine Mother this year in that specific way. But your gifts are more of a unity oriented, about bringing people together and having them get along, even if they don't want to. It's like your presence makes that happen. And sometimes that's catalyzing. Sometimes that's not easy for others, but that's the deal. Kelly says, could I receive a soul contract pull for the year? Yes, you may. And this is going to be my last one, so please don't super chat me anymore. I think I'm going to call it after this, guys. All right. It's time to open up to the Divine Feminine, to open up your heart more. We have the cosmic heart position in the upside down karmic realm, being like you have a big heart, but you're afraid to opening it. You have some new endeavors that you are meant to pursue, but family endeavors got in the way last year, and it will be time to turn this frown upside down. This is the new card, the new gown card. And the feeling behind it is like, if you don't go upon your full creative endeavors this year, you'll be super sad in your heart. Like, don't let anyone stop you and other people's like problems stop you, family problems stop you. You are a manifester. You know how to get what you want. And you do have a huge heart, but you have to stop and heal your own right now. Becca, what guidance is there for me with this year? Business direction, building a home on land and woods. Okay, let's see. What cards am I using? A ton of them. Next year, this year will be a year for me to begin to create my own cards as well. So you guys will be able to get those for yourself. I use so many. But I really like nature-oriented oracle cards. And I like Stuart Pearce cards, even though I don't have any here with me. They're still in a box somewhere. I should be getting those out and playing with those soon. I love those cards. Okay, Becca. That land called you, but that land also owned you. And it's there to help you go through a rebirth. It's there to help you help Earth go through a rebirth. You will be starting a movement. This is more of a literal card than a metaphor. And I'm getting the phrase, the river runs through it. I don't know if that's true for your land, but that energy of movement through this land is powerful nonetheless. Going in the direction of a business, it will have to be on this land, not elsewhere. And it will bring you much joy. And you will be seeing the bigger picture of why you're on this land very, very soon. You are of divine stewardship of this land. Again, it owns you, and it is your responsibility to keep it safe. Everyone who touches feet upon this soul will be activated to know their ancestors. That is its purpose. Your guides say you will understand this message. Okay. You know what, Gianluca? You should reach out to me because I might. And I know your art is good. All right. I'm going to call it here, guys. If you didn't get a chance to get a reading, we have tons of readings on special on my website at PamelaAralyn.com. I've linked it to the top. Particularly the 2024 soul contract readings are the ones that are for limited time only special, and you're welcome to grab one for yourself. Anya just put a link of where I get all what cards I use as well, if you're curious about that, right there in chat. And as always, I do work twice a week on my Patreon channel. So patrons, I'll see you next week. I've got that linked up if you're curious. And I'll probably see you later this weekend. Bye-bye.